Hi, I'm Stuart Rosen. I'm from Manifesting the Positive. I'm here with Bob Proctor, who is the master of The Secret. So tell us about, you are living the example of The Secret and all of the manifestation. What was your big aha moment? When was the moment that changed you from who you were to who you've become?
I think I have to go way back to 1961 when I first picked up Think and Grow Rich.
All right.
I had a man explain a few things to me that gave it to me. I was 26. I really had never done anything in my life of any consequence. I was losing. And I hadn't done well in school. I had dumb jobs. And he got me to quit focusing on why I couldn't win and start to think of why I could. Now I still didn't think I could win. And I really didn't believe that I could, accomplish anything. But he believed I could. And I think I started off believing in his belief in me. And I've analyzed that a lot, and I think that probably is a point everybody moves ahead at. Somebody has helped them, and I think we believe in their belief in us, and that leads into us believing in ourselves. And so that's really where it started. I had set a goal. I think it was the first time in my life I'd ever set a goal. I thought of a goal as being hockey or soccer or something like that, but not a point to work toward in your life. And that was way back in 1961. And of course, I've just continually studied it ever since then.
Now, comparing 3 Feet from Gold to the original, to Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Now, how does it compare? What new stuff are we getting from 3 Feet from Gold?
I don't think you're getting any new stuff. I think what you're getting is new examples that people relate to a lot easier. It's very difficult to relate to Henry Ford building a Model T or Edison trying to figure out how to create an incandescent light bulb or something. But the same principles that they used is used in the examples in the book. Like you've got Dave Leniger in there that started Remax Real Estate. Now I remember when they started it. And what he did in that company was change the paradigm of the entire industry. And it's such an excellent example. I had lunch with Dave today and we were talking about it. And, he did billions of dollars worth of business in 1 year. That's tremendous change. So the examples are up-to-date examples, like Mrs. Field's cookies, Remax Real Estate. So the information never changes. The laws that enable us to succeed are universal and they're timeless. But the examples are new. And I think 3 Feet from Gold is an extension, a modern-day extension of Think and Grow Rich. And I think probably that it'll impact as many lives or maybe more because there's a greater awareness today.
Now, what happens when someone has the idea but they haven't taken all of the steps to reach their goal? What advice would you give them to actually go from where they are now to there?
Well, I think that they should be very careful on who they get advice from. We have a tendency to talk to the guy next door, or our brother-in-law possibly, who hasn't really done anything. We should go to people that have accomplished something. If we're going to ask for advice, go to someone that has accomplished something and ask them what they think we should do. And we'll get good advice there. We have a tendency just to say, what do you think I should do? To the next person that we're talking to. The person will always give you an opinion, but it isn't necessarily advice that's going to work for you. And we have a tendency to listen to it.
Now, what happens when a person is filled with fear about saying, oh, they're out of my league, they're way too big for me? What advice would you give them about that?
Well, the only way to handle fear is to face it. Like, let's suppose I'm afraid to meet you, okay? And you're somebody I want to talk to, and I'm afraid to meet you. Well, if I don't go through that terror barrier, which was what I call it, and put my hand out and introduce myself to you, then I'm not going to do much with my life because I'm letting fear control me. And when I do that, I find out, I start to take a look that you're really no different than I am. You're no better than I am. You see? Right. And the problem with us thinking that someone's better than us, the opposite of that, we think we're better than someone else. And that's not a good idea to work with. So I think we have to face the thing we fear, and then fear leaves.
So now what inspires you every day? When you get up in the morning, what just lights up your day?
Well, I have so many projects going. I have 19 companies that I'm involved in that we operate all over the world. So, I mean, I always have a big project on the go that I've really got to get busy at. I have a reason for getting out of bed, and I have a reason for going full tilt, you know. Like, I've been busy here since very early this morning, and we still have a ways to go. Well, every day is like that. Now, some people said, don't you get tired of it? Well, of course I get tired, but not of that. You know, what's the alternative? Do nothing. That's something that really wears you out.
That is excellent.
I think the deal is that you have big goals and you have big projects, and every day when you wake up, and of course you've got a purpose for living. And all the way through Think and Grow Rich, Hill talks about definiteness of purpose. That's what we've got to go after.
Now, how big should people dream?
You can't dream too big. You see, if you take a look at all the giants, I'll give you a good example. When we were doing a seminar, I think it was in Hawaii. There was Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield, myself, Bernie Dorman, there was a number of us. And it was an idea that Mark and I come up with. We were going to teach people to earn $1 million by setting up multiple sources of income. Well, he and Jack got the idea that we're going to do these Chicken for the Soul books. And they came to me and they said, Proctor, you got lots of stories, give us some stories. So I give them some stories. And Mark said, we're going to sell 50 million of these by the turn of the century. Well, this was early in the 90s, and I thought, he's smoking something. You know, but I didn't want to tell him that because we're in this business. Well, he didn't sell 50 million, he sold 74 million, and he's gone over 100 million. So that taught me a lesson. There is no limit. There is no limit. If you can see it in your mind, you're capable of doing it. And I think what stops most people, they see it, but they don't see how they're going to get there. And it's not necessary that we see how we're going to get there. It's only necessary to know that we're going to get there. And that's what makes every day exciting. You know, today, I wonder what's going to happen today that moved me in that direction. And some of the things that happen are not too pleasant, but they're what has to happen to raise our consciousness to move it in that towards where we're going.
Absolutely. This has been great. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you for being a perfect living example.
Good. I enjoy it. Thank you.